Hey guys, so one of the most annoying F2L cases is when the edge is inserted misoriented, and usually that means you have to rotate if you only did RU and L moves. Okay, and because it's more commonly done this way and less confusing, I'm not going to be going over the mirror cases, so I'm not going to be having the same thing in the left slot and so on, because it would save some time. So let's start with this case here, where there's an edge misslotted, and the corner here is not facing upwards. So from right here, you can do these three moves, which pairs them up. It saves you a rotation compared to if you rotated and did this. All right, and then if the corner was over here, you could actually do the exact same thing, and that would also pair them up. And then if the corner's over here, you could do the same thing, but with a U move the other way. Now, that's kind of awkward, but the reason that's good is because, for example, for me, I'm lefty, so that would work out better for me to be able to do that with my left hand. So if you were to mirror that case, have the edge in the left side, then that would be easier for you to do F moves with your right hand. And then lastly, if the corner is back here, then what I recommend you do is just do a U move and do one of the other cases, but then there is another algorithm you can do right here, which is to take the edge out and put it right here like that, and then do this algorithm. But I can't really say I recommend that just because the other ones are all really nice. Okay, now we have the same case, but the corner is oriented a different way. So what you can do here is go like that and take them out like this. Now from here, in order to insert it, you can insert using F moves, which would save your rotation, or you can just rotate and insert. And then additionally, those three moves, you can also put the corner over here and do the same three moves, which can work out a little bit nicer because you have it paired together, which means it's more likely you can do other things with it like VLS or sledgehammer and so on. And an interesting thing about this is if you do Yao for 4x4, this is the edge flipping algorithm during edge pairing. So that's basically just pairing them together and then doing a sledgehammer to insert it. All right, and then back to this case with the corner back here. So you can also insert it by going U the other way like that. And this can help out if you think the F moves this way are nicer to insert. And then when the corner is over here, there's actually a pretty nice way to do this, and it's like this. So that sets them up to insert. It's exactly the same as a certain VLS case. So if you know that VLS case, you can just think of the algorithm like that. But then if you don't, then you can just memorize this algorithm. Now we're going to have all of the same cases with the corner not oriented upwards, and the edge will be in the back this time. So of course we don't want to rotate and do it at the front. We want to make sure we can do all of our slots from the back. So for this specific case, you can do this, which is just a mirror of what you do from the front. And then now there's two ways to insert it into the back. One is to rotate like that, pretty obvious. Then the other way is to actually do the same three moves, but without a rotation. And that's by doing wide F, R, wide F prime. And a lot of people probably have not have thought of that before. It's exactly the same three moves as if you rotated and inserted, but it's nicer that you don't have to rotate. So that works out especially well if you have like an open front slot here, so you don't want to put it at the back. So just a cool trick to know. All right, then if the corner is over here instead, you can pair them up like that. Same three moves basically. And then from here, you can insert it in many ways. You can rotate and insert, which honestly is probably the worst way to do it, just because there are some nicer ways to do it. One of the nice ways to do it is to insert this corner. If you can insert the corner like that, think about it like that, but insert with the wide moves instead, like that. And then now just do a regular R and fix this edge. So the algorithm's right there. And then we have one more way to do it, which is by moving the pair over here first and then doing this. So all of these are for the purpose of saving a rotation. Now, if you'd have to rotate anyway in order to do like the next pair because you have good look ahead, then that's fine. But then in general, it's better to do one of these two methods that don't require a rotation. Okay, so when the corner is over here, you can pair it up in one of two ways. One is like this, and one is just the same thing but doing U the other way. And the reason you want to do one over the other is for partial edge control. So for example, here we have three edges oriented, and if you choose this one, you only have two edges oriented. But then if you choose the other one, you'll have still three edges oriented, and then when you insert, you'll have all of them oriented. So that's just something to think about. But then if that's not what you're thinking about, then you can just choose whichever one has the nicer insert afterwards. So for example, for this one, you end up with a pair like this, and you can insert it with one of the tricks that I showed earlier. And then for the other way, you can insert it like this, which may be a little bit harder. So it's just up to you. And then lastly, if the corner's over here, it is back here still, then you can choose the way that I taught from the front, which is like this, but from the back angle, which is kind of awkward, but I can't really see anything wrong with it. And then instead of doing wide turn and then insert it, you can do M prime to insert it. So I'll just show that again. So like this. So the finger trick is not bad, but recognition is kind of bad for that case. So normally at that point, I would have done a U move or something like that. Then I would have seen which of the other cases to do, which I find is a little bit easier. Okay, and now we have edge in the back with the corner oriented the other way. So if the corner is touching the edge here, then normally I would just choose one of the other ways to do it. So do a U or a U prime and then pick the other way to do it. But if you really want, there is another way to do it from this angle, which is R prime U to R, and then you get this case. So it's not the best, you still have to rotate, but that is one option. Another option you could choose is to insert the corner only without the edge, like that, and then the edge is over here. Then you can just do the beginner method to insert the edge, so like this, to pair them up. So it's back angle, which you may not be used to for the beginner method, but it is the same thing. And then from this, you can insert it in one of the ways that I've taught, like that, or you could rotate, or you could choose the other way that I taught, which is like this. All right, and then now when the corner is over here, there's an interesting way to do it, which I'm not sure is actually fast because I haven't really tried it out that much. So it's like this, just remove the edge, put it over here. I showed this earlier from the other angle, and then do this insert. So besides that, I can't really think of a good way to do this one. And if you know a good way, you can leave it in the comments. All right, now we have this one over here. So this one is the one that you can do two ways to insert it if you are facing this way, or of course the other way, because it's just RUL. But then from this angle is a little bit more awkward. So you can either rotate or you could do something like this, which does the same thing as R prime from here. And then when the corner is back here, you can do the exact same thing. It just sets up into a different case, and then you can insert it. All right, and then the last case for misoriented edge is when the corner is oriented upwards. So this last one is the edge misoriented and the corner oriented upwards, but you might just see it as they pair up together. So because it's so intuitive, people tend to not learn more than one solution for it. Normally people just take it out and then insert it like that. But because that may not necessarily be the best way to solve it every time, then I want to show some other ways as well. When it's like this, you can do a sledgehammer actually, and then that pairs them up. So I typically use either that or the sledgehammer or the take it out, depending on what the edges are for the last layer. But if there's only like one edge in this case, it doesn't really matter. I typically prefer sledgehammer because it's a bit faster. And then one other option you have is like this. So take it out like normal, and then instead of doing R prime, you keep going with R and then insert the edge and then fix that layer on your way down. All right, now the same case from the back. So you're not going to be wanting to do sledgehammers from the back because that's kind of weird. What's probably faster is to do this. So that's a really useful algorithm because it saves you a rotation. All right, so I think that just about covers every single case where there's an edge in here and corner up here from all different angles, except I didn't show the left slots, which you would have to mirror for. And then since I showed a lot of different ways to do it, you could probably pick your favorite one, experiment with all of them for the left slot as well. You may not do the same one for left slot and right slot, for example. I find, for me, left sledgehammers are way easier than right sledgehammers, and lefty F moves are way easier than righty F moves because I'm left-handed. So if you find certain moves are more comfortable, then you can pick the ones that make them more comfortable. Now, I will also be extending the series to include other F2L cases that are particularly bad, which includes more unoriented edge cases when it's in different slots, such as this one, for example. So this is unoriented, this is here, and then I would have tricks for those as well. And since I wouldn't say I'm the best with this, please let me know if you have any other algorithms for different cases. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.